Okay, so let's, I wanted to do one more for 5.5, just to be really clear, and then we'll do 5.6. So, let me find one in the book here that we didn't do. Let's see, one we did in, probably a different one out of the book. Okay, so page 200 is where this example is coming off of. I don't think your book has the answers to these, but at least you can see other problems to work if you're with your tutor. All right, so they had a binomial. Oh, you know what? I bet we did this one in class. Well, there are more in the book if you want to do a different one, but at least you'll have this down. Hang on, let's do the other one. See if I can stick to the right one. Okay, 3m minus 2n. Probably should use something that doesn't have m's and n's. Okay. That one times that one would be 21m3. That one times that one would be plus 18m squared n. See the two m's and the one n. And then this one would be plus 12mn squared. All right. Then this one, notice when I multiply the negative 2 times the 7, that's a negative 14, but there's one n and two m's. That's the same thing as this. So your book suggests if you're doing it the vertical way, whoops, not to put a 14. Hang on. All right, to put a negative 14 and then write m squared n, because these are like terms. You have two m's and an n, okay? This is two n's and an m, so that's not a like term. So be careful with that. So this one right here is a negative 12, and it's got one m and two n's. You can see that. And then this one here is got three n's. So you, instead of writing them in a big long line, you can kind of line them up with each other, and that might be easier when you're adding and subtracting them. Instead of one long line, you don't have to go find the other like terms. Let's see, this minus this, that's 4 more positive ones, and then remember this stays the same. This one went away altogether, and that's my final answer. You don't have to leave a space or anything. The final answer is 21m3 plus 4m2n, 8n3. Okay, so that's just another way to do those. And I wanted to mention for 5.5, they bring up FOIL, but I want to, let's give you a problem. 2x minus y, this is on page 199, by the way. 2x minus y times 4x minus 5y. So this one times this one is 8x squared. This one times this one is negative 10xy. That one times that one is negative 4xy. Now I purposely am putting these together because 1x and 1y is like terms. It's okay if you put yx on both of them, but I'm going to combine them in a minute, so they should look somewhat like each other, so I can do that. And then this would be a negative 1 times a negative 5 would be a positive 5, and then I have 3 y's. Okay, so that means these right here are like terms. So my final answer is 8. This one, and then 10 and 4, negative 14xy plus 5. There. That is my final answer. Now, your book says they want you to recognize this as FOIL. So the black, this is the first term times the first term. So let's see, that's first. And then outside times outside is O. Inside times inside is I. And last times last is L. So let me write that down. So first outside inside last. So that's FOIL, F-O-I-L, all capital letters. All right, that's just another way to explain how you do all of the distributions. So they're just giving it a name. It's nothing different than you have already done. Okay, so you don't really have to do anything different from it. The book shows you some vertical versions of it and some manipulations of it, but there really isn't anything different about it that you've done. So on page 199, there's also this example. And yes, we just did one like this in the other section. They're just giving it a different name all of a sudden. So if you see something to distribute, you can't distribute this all over the place. You have to do, it's best to do this first. It's best to FOIL first. So we're going to ignore this 3, but then put what we FOIL here. So this times this is 2x squared. That's first. And then outside is 2x times 5 would be a positive 10x. And then inside would be negative 4x. And then last would be negative 20. So this is for the first terms in a binomial versus the last terms in the binomial, okay? That's all in the parentheses still. Combine like terms. And then distribute that 3. That's going to be 6x squared plus 18x minus 60. And that's my final answer for that. So that's really all they did in 5.5. So 5.6, all they want to do, 5.6 pretty easy. 5.6 is just pointing out some things that happen when you have some odd ones. They call them special products. So if you're foiling these two binomials, something interesting happens. So first times first, that's 1 times 1 is 1, and then you get x squared. And then outside is plus 5x. Inside is minus 5x. And the last is minus 25. What they want you to do is notice the special product. So that product, remember, product means two things are multiplied by each other. So this binomial times this binomial gives this product. The final form of this is x squared minus 25. So we go from a binomial times a binomial yields or equals a binomial as well, because of the like terms here canceling themselves out. Okay, so it's just, you can remember that as a special product or not. It basically says that this first is the same first. In this case, the x's in both of these are the same. Okay, and the lasts, in this case they're the 5s, are the same, first and last are the same, but the signs are opposite. Okay, a plus, see this plus and this negative here. Okay, so that means anything. So if you have, I don't know, let's see if we got another example in here. Yep, on page 202, there is 3x plus 7 times 3x minus 7. So that means the first, see how the first and the first are the same, the last and the last are the same, and the signs are opposite. That means you're going to get the square of the first. 3x times 3x is 9x squared, right? 7 times 7 is 49. And remember, our final answer has a negative in the middle. Now you can remember to do that, or just keep doing what we've been doing, which is first, that's 9x squared, and then outside is negative 21x, and then inside is negative 21x, and last, 7 times 7 is a negative 49. Oops, what was okay, so this times, that was negative. This one's a positive, sorry. Okay, so what happens are these two go away, and you get that. Let's do another one because I messed that one up. So 2x minus 6y, 2x plus 6y. So since the first and the last are the same and the signs are opposite, it'd be the square of the first. 2x times 2x is 4x. And then notice the signs are separate, are opposite, so it's going to be negative in the middle. And then 6y times 6y is 36y squared. That is the answer to that one. So you can recognize this, or you can work all the steps out. So this is 4x squared. This is plus 12 xy, yep, sorry, this is 12xy, and this is, let's see, negative 36y squared. So these little mixed terms right here go away, and you're left with that one. So don't let the extra letters fool you. It all works the same way, okay? One other example they give you is, what if you were given something like this? This is also page 202. They're reminding you that this is the whole thing squared. This does not equal, hang on, x minus this squared does not equal x2 minus 5, 2, or something weird like that. You can't do that. Remember, that's not the same as 5x squared, because that 5x squared would equal like 52x2. Notice this is multiplied by each other. These are adding and subtracting. So when you square them, you don't get something shoved together like that. So let me erase that. We definitely don't want to be doing that. So it's the whole thing. It's the whole thing that's squared. So when you see the 2 out here, don't distribute that 2. You have 2 of those things. So you have to separate them so you can FOIL them. All right, so this times this is x squared. This times this is negative 5x. This times this, negative 5x. This times this, a negative 5 times a negative 5 is a positive 25. Notice these are not opposite signs, so they get kept. This plus more of them is the answer. So when there are positive and a negative, you lose the middle term. When there's two negatives or two positives, you're going to keep the middle term, and you're going to have a square and a square on each end, and then a combination in the middle. So it's really nothing to remember. It's just you're doing the same thing. So if you had, let's say you had this. Remember, that's x plus 5 times x plus 5. So this would be, what, x squared plus 5x would be plus 10x plus 25. Okay? There's just a little sign difference here because the plus versus the negative. So they're just saying there might be a shortcut if you kind of recognize that. On page 203, they have 3x minus 7y squared. So that'd be 3x minus 7y. So this times this is, oops, let me do that on top like I've been doing. So 9x squared. This times this is minus 21xy. This times this is negative 21xy. And then this times this is a positive 49y squared. These are the same. These are like terms, and we need to add them together when the sign is the same. I have negative 21 plus another negative 21 is a combined total of negative 42 xy's. Put them in the same order, okay? Doesn't matter if you put yx. Typically what happens is whatever's here goes first, and then whatever's here goes second. That's how you'll see the textbook do it, okay? Let's try another one. Couple more examples. It's all the same thing. I think this is the easier section. What if we had 4, there's lots of examples in 204. So how about 4x minus 7, I don't know why it's another 7, 4x plus 7. So maybe they want you to look at it and go, the first is the same, the last is the same, and you have opposite signs. So you could just kind of square the first one, put a negative, and square the second one, and that would be the answer. Or you could just do the thing. 16x squared plus 28x minus 28x minus 49. These go away because they're opposite signs. So that is my final answer. Let's find another one with a bunch of letters on there. Okay, how about 6x minus 2y, 6x plus 2y. Again, same first, same last, opposite signs. You should be able to look at it and go, okay, that's that with a negative in the middle, and then y squared. 2 4s, or 2 2's and 2 y's. Or you can just do this, 36x squared plus 12xy minus 12xy minus 4y squared. And then these are opposite, so it's going to go away. That is all that's in 5-6. Hopefully that's an easy section for you.